Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Sidewalks Entertainment. Well, our next guest is the author of the best-selling book, The Power of Style. She's been sharing her feel-good advice on fashion, beauty, and style for over 15 years as the style editor for NBC's Today Show. I'd like to welcome the lovely Bobbie Thomas to the show. Hi there, Bobbie. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, first off, I just wanted to see if we could start off with a deep breath together since I'm balancing mom duties and reporter duties this morning.
Absolutely.
So we're going to inhale, and exhale. Oh my gosh. First of all, I just wanted to see if we could talk a little bit about your journey into your television career. I just want to start off with the career and how you got started prior to joining the Today Show.
Oh, wow. Like so many other young girls around the time that I grew up, I was really searching for approval. And I found that unfortunately, I was looking for that with my dad and with boyfriends and just in the wrong places, everywhere except myself. And that set me on a track to have some experiences that would really shape my life later on. I found myself in challenging, abusive relationships and ultimately ended up focusing my college education on marriage, family, and child psychology. So right out of school, I had an internship / I worked at a rape crisis trauma facility when I was looking to get my master's. Yeah. And it's not something a lot of people would imagine would be the precursor to, being a style editor. But it really was purposeful for me along the way in this path because it allowed me to sort of think about my stuff and to really understand as women, what we think is important. And so often we place that emphasis on external things and not what's intrinsic. We look at, the handbag, the job, the boyfriend, the friends, and, being the doctor's wife or something like that, rather than your own intrinsic accomplishments, your hobbies, your education, what you have to offer as a person. Are you kind? Are you a good friend? The truth is when you have that sort of privilege of understanding, and a lot of times some of us aren't introduced to this idea. And it was really important to me to think about how can I help women connect? I was at this rape crisis facility and the conversation, centered around a lot of other things. And I really wanted women to understand that what was internal couldn't be taken away. And you really needed to protect that and to sort of invest in things that you owned and not to worry if, the boyfriend breaks up with you or the handbags last season. And I really understood the power of lipstick with these women. I was working at a hospital overnight when survivors would be brought to me. And when you gave them a care package that included cosmetics, they were sort of confused and taken back and thought, why are you giving this to me? Because you're worth it. And you deserve to look in the mirror and see yourself in any way you want. And that has really been the sort of seed that helped to propel me forward and to look for opportunities and platforms to talk about things I love, like fashion and beauty, but to remind women that this is a way you talk to people without words. This is how you share who you are. And it's not about the label or the logo or anything. It's about how you present yourself and how you're packaging all the wonderful things that are inside. And so self-care, which is, I know, something we're going to talk about today, all of that led me to finding, a home at Today and all the other things I do. And I've also been just really lucky. I've really been able to collect some amazing women. The ladies that are behind me talking to you today are my best friends and also, my strategic agency. And it's really what I recommend to everybody. Find people that believe in you and you respect.
That's amazing. You know, it's always interesting to hear these stories because you always hear in this business that you have to have tough skin to break into a television career, and that you go through a lot of rejection, and, you know, you get your fair share of rejection. So this is interesting to hear that, you know, you were actually on the other side of, you know, with women and like supporting women, even
I
way
had
before
no
you got into
idea.
television. So this is great to hear.
Well, it was so important, and I had no intention or thought to be in front of a camera. And I think kind of it was always confusing to me when someone would come up and say, I want to do what you do. I want to be you. And I thought, well, I'm flattered, but you should want to be you. And I I feel like people who really resonate to me with me when I'm either reading a book or watching an interview or television, they're usually people that have a really unique story or contribution to share. And if you can figure out what you can contribute, today social media is just an amplification of TV. It's all
Yeah.
about connecting. This
Yeah.
lens and this video, it's just me. And like I like people. I love women and I want to connect. So use it as a tool and not as the goal. It should be the tool behind something substantive, or in front of it, I should say.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting for you, Bobbie, that I imagine you just didn't walk into Rockefeller Center to land the job at Today's Show, because I
No,
think
I
even before
mean,
that, before social media, that was before social media, kind of, or it was maybe on the
yes.
brink at that time.
Thank you,
So,
girlfriend. I am a dinosaur and I was around before social media. I mean, I definitely am old school, and I came up in
yeah.
a way that you had to pay your dues and prove yourself. But if you can imagine, I wasn't sitting there working at local TV stations or at a magazine. I was really just focused on what I loved, and it was helping women. And the true story behind being at Today was I made it. I was asked to do it. I didn't seek it out. I made a complete mistake. I had no idea that people talked about products that were for sale on TV. I just shared information. And because I didn't do that and made the mistake, apparently a lot of people cared and wanted to know what I talked about. So I am there 15 years later. And again, I think if you have really truthful intentions behind what you do, good things will come of it, and you will sort of gravitate towards the right path. You can't go
That's
wrong
right.
that way.
Yeah, well, speaking of the right path and going on tips for your path, I mean, you share so many tips along your path, and I just wanted to start getting into this, dive in. Can you talk a little bit about some of maybe these mood boosting self care tips to add joy to our day? Because this is like something everyone's looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough year for us all, and the world is opening up, and that is exciting, but it's also stressful for many of us, including myself.
Yes.
And the conversation lately has been about another layer of sort of people infiltrating, your day. And it's wonderful. I miss in-person connection, but we really can't lose ourselves. We have to make sure that we find a way to have balance. And this conversation was really inspired by the opportunity I have right now. I've partnered with Russell Stover. They're coming up
Yeah.
on 100 years. I mean, it's such an iconic brand, and they are launching their first no sugar added collection of chocolate bars. Something really unique about these no sugar added bars is they have filling in them, which is, my Achilles heel, the sea salt, caramel, dark chocolate, and many
Oh,
other delicious flavors. And of
yummy.
course, they told me all about this really great product. It's carefully crafted with select non-GMO and organic ingredients and all of the things you want to hear. No artificial flavors, preservatives, or colors. It's made with plant-based stevia extract. The packaging is 100% recyclable. They're breakable bites. And all of that being super impressive, the bigger sort of light for me was when they said, we want to really truly be on a mission to spread and foster joy. And we want to team up
Oh,
with people like you to go out there and create that conversation. And they have my respect. And the two women that are like lifelong best friends of mine that are involved in my business and what we do, They brought this to me and they said, this is an opportunity for us to have that conversation. They're supporting one of our favorite organizations, Step Up, which mentors young girls and women with their professional goals and dreams. So it's, appropriate. You asked me how I got started. Step Up is a great organization that really seeks to put mentorship out there, especially for women. And it's just really an honor to be able to have a brand use their footprint to create the conversation we're having. And, some really practical tips we discussed that they liked the idea of sharing. Start with you and schedule you. Time is the only thing we truly own. And if you think about that, wake up and the first thing you do in the morning, put a Post-it note on your bedside or phone so that when you use your eyes open, that first 30 minutes of the day is doing the one thing that was important to you first. And secondly, you look at your calendar. I know for me, my calendar is full of everybody else's needs, but I was missing. Put yourself in that calendar, whether it's a day off, or for me, I like more frequent 15-minute blocks. You have to honor that like any other doctor's appointment. You put that timer, set it up. And for my son, I have to say, he doesn't really want a lot from me. Sometimes I worry that he wants a new toy. He really just wants to play with me. He's 5 years old. And I schedule 15 minutes and we have a Joy Bite break. And he is over the moon about that we're saying not only, yes, stop and smell the roses and eat the chocolate. It's something I feel so good about on so many levels. It's a quality, product, but it's also really emphasizing for me a message that's so important. And I think as women, I need your help. Please reach out to me on social. I'd love to know your tips and secrets about finding joy and shifting your focus, because we have to just support each other. We really need to remind ourselves, because even though I'm sitting here giving you these ideas, I'll need that soon.
I totally get it. I'm with you on that. I'll gather with you anytime and have chocolate, Bobbie.
Aw,
Give me some cookies and chocolate. Well, Bobbie, before we let you go, I know we only have just a few seconds left, but I know that you've gone through a lot as well, like you had mentioned. And I just wanted to mention that you are a very courageous mom and a strong woman warrior and an inspiration to many. And I was okay to ask, what has helped you navigate through really kind of the hardest time that you went through this past year, over the past years?
That's a great question. I have been taking some time to think about that. It's been a little bit challenging. And for those who don't know, I lost my husband in December after illness. I think that it's hard to ask for help. And I was really lucky that a lot of people around me offered support. And I'm going to be sitting down with Hoda, who's been, the whole Today Show family has been just incredibly supportive. And we're going to sit down and share more soon. So it'll be on today. Oh,
good. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing that, because that's probably the most vulnerable circumstance that you could be sharing. And that's why I wanted to share with you that we are just behind you and supporting you. And you've been just such a courageous person and an example. So we can't wait to hear about, what you're going to share. So yeah.
Thanks.
So thank you. Bobbie, it was a pleasure. I could talk to you for forever, girl.
Yeah, me too. I know. My parents can't believe I figured out how to make a living at just being a professional girlfriend.
Right,
but
there you go.
It's, I'm so lucky. So thank you. And thanks for the support.
Yes, you are, and much continued success to you. Thank you. Come back and join us here at Sidewalks if you ever get some more time and chat with us about anything else that you're doing. So we support you over here, and much continued success.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit SidewalksTV.com.